Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and I thought I better get back on my regular schedule. Today is tip 216, and it's August 8th, which is supposed to be a lucky day because of the infinity part of 8. So let's make it an awesome day. I already got my walk in, well, as much as Mother Nature would let me have because it's raining here now. But I decided today when I was walking, I was listening to videos and stuff, and the word wish big wish kept coming up. So I thought, well, I'm gonna look for articles on, how do you make your big wishes come true? And of course, I didn't have much luck on that. And so what it kind of ended up evolving into is when I started researching it, all that ever came up was like 25 or 100 versions of how to say happy birthday to someone. And I thought, well, that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for like making your life move forward. And so kind of what it ended up turning into is that I realized that I've always been known as a dreamer or a person with big wishes. And I thought, well, this kind of sucks. What, why isn't this working? Well, ultimately what it turned out to be is as I continued to do researching, it evolved into wishing big. It doesn't actually allow you to take actions. So really what you want to do is every time you start wishing and dreaming, it goes back to that old saying that you can't leave the scene of a decision without taking action. So kind of what it was referring to is that having big wishes and big dreams is pointless if you don't take action towards them. And so it was kind of talking about you don't want to just be a dreamer or just be a wisher. You want to slow down to process. That's okay. But you need to be taking actionable steps. So I'm like, okay, that's my problem. I've always been a dreamer. I've always been a wisher. I've always been a planner. I've always analyzed till I was paralyzed. So I'm like, okay, no wonder I couldn't find anything to support this. Well, then it was saying that actionable steps lead to transformation. We want to experience the wish. We don't want to just talk about it and think about it. So everything keeps coming back to you need to take action, you need to take action, you need to take steps. If you just have a dream or you just have a wish, you end up stuck and you don't move forward. And they were kind of talking about why do we get stuck? What causes us to be stuck? And what they were talking about is the causes of being stuck are a lack of confidence. And we know many of us struggle with self-confidence issues and self-worth issues. And then a lack of, why stuck? We get stuck because we don't take that first step. And the reason we don't take that first step is a lack of self-confidence and a lack of self-worth. So what it kind of did is it went back to the same thing that we hear a lot about is that you got to go back to small steps. You got to make it achievable. And this article kind of talked about it in a different way. It says, it gives you wings, which gives you confidence. So if you take those small steps, it gives you wings, it gives you confidence, you move forward. They kind of talked about it in a three-pronged process. And what they were kind of saying is that you take actionable steps, but those small actionable steps are working you towards two goals, your next short-term goal and your long-term goal. So if you kind of think about it, you're always working towards your long-term goal, but you're taking that first little actionable step. And they kind of explained it they call that the three-leg prong process, that your goals are always three prongs. You're always working towards the little one, but in essence moving towards the little one is moving you towards the big one. And they kind of explained it like running a marathon. Are you going to have an easier time and be more successful and likely to achieve running a marathon if you decide today you're going to do it tomorrow, or if you decide today you're going to do it a year from now, and you start off with whether it's a 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile, and then in a month you add half a mile or a mile until you finally get there a year from now. We all know that if you make them small and achievable, then you'll likely get there in a year. So it says every step in the journey should feel as easy as if you were moving 3 feet forward. So that's part of that three-prong, 3-foot process. So you know that your little steps are moving you towards your big steps, but you also never make that next actionable step anything harder than what it would take you to toss a ball 3 foot in front of you. So that 3-3-3 was kind of a way to keep things moving forward. And when they were talking about the small actionable steps, they're as simple as a phone call. They're as simple as looking up a race that you could run in a year so that you can have that long-term goal that I want to run that race, but a year from now, so that tomorrow, all you have to simply do is maybe map a route. So today, just map a route for tomorrow for half a mile or a mile. Research, maybe you want to do research on, techniques for running or walking so you don't have injuries. YouTube videos for successful people, or that'll get you motivated in the morning, or that you can use on a day that you can't go outside because you didn't beat the rain. Today I beat the rain. But for me, I'm going to purchase some software because there's some things I want to move forward with. And I realized that this has been in the back of my mind for a couple of weeks and I haven't done it. So I'm just going to do it. Bite the bullet. I've been doing some research. It's time to stop researching and it's time to move forward. So I thought that was all very interesting. And I like that 3-prong leg process, kind of knowing that if you're working on an actionable step, it's taking you to your next reachable goal, which should never be more than a 3-foot toss in front of you. It should be that easy. And ultimately, those 3-foot tosses forward are moving you towards the 3rd leg, which is your long-term goal. And the thing that kept popping into my mind was that saying, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. But through all this process lately, I don't like the negative terms. For me, they're just not supportive. And I'm noticing that people who are struggling with like drinking their water or losing weight or staying on their journey, all their talk is negative. I can't drink it. I can't do it. This is too hard. It's this, it's that, it's the other. So I think as part of self-confidence and as part of self-worth, we have to change the words. For me, I don't find it helpful to me to say things like keep it simple, stupid, or I don't find it as helpful to say things like stinking thinking. If I think about something, I want to go, oh, not such a positive thought. Here, how can I turn it around? So I'm trying to do that because for me, I find that to work better. So I kind of, and I get carried away sometimes. I took that KISS, keep it simple, stupid, and I created my own version. And I'm going to call it the KISSSSSS. And the reason is my new saying, instead of keep it simple, stupid, is keep it sensible, simple, steady, and satisfying, you shining star. Because I want to be positive. I want to enjoy this journey. And I want to keep the momentum to keep making those 3-foot steps, toss it 3 foot, and keep moving forward. Because I'm confident that if I decided to do a marathon in a year, if I took 3-foot steps, small steps, I could do it. I've just historically been known to try to take off more than I can chew. So I'm going to start rewording my supportive statements to where they're truly supportive. And I'm going to always keep in mind that an actionable step only has to be a slight toss forward. It just has to be a 3-foot move, whether it's purchasing software, whether it's watching a YouTube video, whether it's planning what route I might want to do a year from now. Knowing that they might need to be adjusted, I know I can do it. These are all tools we all know, but we got to find that thing that will help us to have the confidence to take that first step. So I'll kind of go over that again real quick, and then I'll let you guys on to your day. I wanted to make sure I got back to this morning stuff because when it gets to night, it's not my pattern and I forget. So what started me off today is dream big, wish big. How do you turn a dream into reality? And sadly, what I found is there was no support for it out there, even in articles. What it led me to is the idea that it's not good enough to just have a wish or a dream. You have to take action. If you're not taking action, if you're stuck, the reason is that you have not taken the first step. And probably the reason you haven't taken the first step is that you lack confidence. So what I was kind of finding is that in that research, it tells you that you have to go back to small steps. And they talked about a 3-pronged process. We sometimes get overwhelmed because we have a goal long-term down the road, like running a marathon. But if it's running a marathon you want, you have to recognize that maybe the 3 prongs is that actionable step of just a 3-foot toss ahead may simply be looking up a route that you can walk tomorrow that's a half a mile, knowing that it's going to be a year before you even think about the marathon. So you want that 3-prong where you're only tossing your first actionable step to be 3 foot forward, knowing it's going to lead you long term, but accepting it small steps, because we lack the self-confidence to take that first step, and that's what trips us up. So we can dream big and we can wish big, but if we don't take those first actionable steps, we never achieve anything. And like I said, a small step can be a phone call. It can be looking up a race to plan for a year from now or 2 years from now. It can be a YouTube video on tips and strategies for the right format, or whatever they call that, to make sure that when you're running, because I've always heard, you want your head up, you want your feet to land flat on the ground. There's different techniques. So techniques are, look for a YouTube video for techniques so that you can run those through your head. Put together a playlist. Any small step like that is a 3-foot toss towards your goal. And then for me, like, I'm going to purchase some software today to move me forward into some things I need to do. But I had the thing that kept coming into my mind during this today is that saying, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And for me, I don't like that, because to me, that's kind of a negative twist. And I'm trying to build my self-confidence by saying supportive statements, because that helps me. So I'm turning KISS into KISS by keep it simple, keep it well, I'm going to start it over. Keep it sensible, simple, steady, satisfying, you shining star. I'm going to put all the S's together in a way that it's a positive thought, because I just find positive thoughts inspire me to do more. I'm just one of those people, and I think most of us are. We say really negative things to ourselves, and we need to stop and say something nice to ourselves, because we've done a lot of great things. Maybe you should sit down today and put a list together of the things that you've accomplished that were great, so that when you're starting to struggle and think that you can't do things, you can remember that you have had achievements in your life. You just simply forgot them because you're struggling right now. Have a great day. Make this day a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you.